Hi, I'm the Tax Geek, and this is another oversimplification of a complicated tax topic. In this episode, we'll take a look at the tax credits that are available for dependents. First, for a rundown on what makes a person a dependent, click the box in the upper right-hand corner of the screen or the link in the description below. There are 3 credits available to a taxpayer who claims dependents: child tax credit, additional child tax credit, and credit for other dependents. Let's look at the child tax credit first. The child tax credit is a tax credit of up to $2,000 per child who qualifies. To qualify, a child must meet the qualified child tests and be under the age of 17. This credit is non-refundable, meaning the credit is limited to tax liability. Here's an example. Ida is a single mother with 1 child. Her income consists of $28,000 in wages. In this case, her tax liability would be $938. Her child tax credit would be limited to that amount. Now, if your child tax credit is limited because of your tax liability, you may be eligible for additional child tax credit. The additional child tax credit is a credit of up to $1,400 that is calculated based on the earned income of the taxpayer. It is also refundable, which means it can increase a taxpayer's refund. Here is how the additional child tax credit is calculated. $2,500 is subtracted from a taxpayer's earned income, which is income from wages and self-employment. The resulting figure is then multiplied by 15%. This figure is then compared to 2 other figures: $1,400, which is the maximum additional child tax credit, and the difference between the maximum child tax credit of $2,000 and the child tax credit that the taxpayer actually received. The smallest of these 3 figures is the additional child tax credit. Let's go back to Ida's example. She received $938 in child tax credit, so she should be eligible for additional child tax credit. We take her $28,000 in wages and subtract $2,500, yielding $25,500. We multiply that figure by 15%, which is $3,825. We then compare that figure to 2 other figures: the $1,400 maximum additional child tax credit and the difference between the maximum child tax credit and the child tax credit she actually received, which in this case is $2,000 minus $938, which equals $1,062. The smallest of these 3 figures is $1,062, which is the additional child tax credit that would be refunded to Ida. Additional child tax credit is calculated on Form 8812 and is included with the tax return. Any dependent who does not meet the qualifications for child tax credit or additional child tax credit makes the taxpayer eligible for the credit for other dependents. This is a flat credit of $500 per person. This credit is non-refundable, which means the credit is limited to tax liability. There is no refundable portion of the credit for other dependents. The credit for other dependents is taken before child tax credit in order to maximize additional child tax credit. So let's change Ida's story a bit. In addition to her child under 17, she also claims her older child who is age 20. Her tax liability remains $938. The $500 credit for other dependents is subtracted from her tax liability, leaving $438. This figure would be her child tax credit. Same as before, her $28,000 in wages less $2,500 multiplied by 15% yields the same $3,825 it did before. This figure is compared to the maximum additional child tax credit of $1,400 and the difference between the maximum child tax credit and the child tax credit she actually received. That is $2,000 minus $438, which is $1,562. The lowest of those figures is $1,400, which is her additional child tax credit. Child tax credit and the credit for other dependents are entered directly on line 19 of Form 1040. Additional child tax credit is transferred from line 15 of Form 8812 to line 28 of Form 1040. Now, there are some additional details to these credits, but this video covers the situations encountered by most taxpayers. Please consult the links in the description for more information. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more content like this. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more taxation oversimplifications.